chopo poko logo to jogwengo seka logo kendo jogo tieko mogo gitieko mogo kata welo poko chopo sama welo wango chopo kendo koka yamo loko mogo kokirego mchele kokiero kado rumute kuon mchele wangi bang.
Hi guys, welcome back to my second podcast. I'm super excited to have all of you here. If it's your first time, please go ahead and subscribe. And for those who are coming back, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're back again. So let's do this. So today, before I get started, I just wanted to share my experience with you. I've been a bit frustrated. So I bought this microphone. It's the PreSonus Revelator. I bought it like 6 months ago. And I've been trying to connect it to my MacBook so that I can use it to improve my sound quality. But unfortunately, I have not succeeded. It's been stressful, and super frustrating. I have tried everything I can. I've watched YouTube tutorials. I even went back to the store where I bought it so that they can at least help me find a way to connect it, but nothing has come of it yet. A friend of mine helped me with an interface so I could connect and try and see if it works, but it's not picking up sound, and so the show must go on. I'll continue without it, and I hope that maybe I'll figure out a way of how to fix this. If anyone knows how I could do this, I would really appreciate your help. Just hit me on my comment section below, and yes, so that's that. So today we are going to talk about how to cope with trauma, difficult experiences, distressing situations. I took the liberty to look up trauma on Google, and this is what Dr. Google says. It's a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. So it could be something akin to losing a close relative or friend. Just to share with you my traumatic experiences, I think the first one for sure was when I lost my dad. I was just a teenager. That was horrible. It was I lack words to describe that experience, and I think one never really gets over losing a loved one. It's something that stays with you, and you just need to figure out a way of coping with that. And I also went through another very traumatic experience years back, and for my second experience, I really had to see a therapist because I was losing it. And like I shared in my first podcast, the therapist suggested that I take up writing as a form of release, and it has really helped me. It's something that I've continued doing, and I still do, especially when I feel overwhelmed and I feel like I really need to just release and let go of some of these emotions that can be very detrimental to my health. And so looking at ways to cope with trauma, writing definitely does it for me. Writing, like I've shared, is one of the ways I use to help me cope. Another way of coping is for me is having a great support system, and I have been fortunate enough to have my fiance. Bless him. He is my anchor. He is ever present. Despite the distance between us, we talk every day for hours on end, and he is such a present person in my life. So even when I go through these very difficult and distressing times, I know that I have someone I can count on. And yeah, it gives me a level of comfort, and it's very helpful when you know that you have that one person who really truly loves you, deeply cares for you, and is very involved and wants to be there for you. So yes, I also have my best friend who checks in on me occasionally, and yeah, this is super helpful. And it helps when you have someone that you can openly share things with, and you don't have to worry or stress about it, because then that would be additional stress on top of the stress that you're already going through. Yeah, and I also have a few friends who occasionally check in. I also understand that we are living in a very fast-paced world, and everyone is going through issues, and so just to have someone who can spare a few minutes of their time to check in and truly genuinely want to be there for you, I feel like this is very helpful. It's something that one should be grateful for, and I certainly am grateful. Yeah, so a great support system is super helpful when you're going through distressing and difficult times. Another way of coping for people of faith, if you believe in God, prayer. I feel like prayers really help because it's how can I put it? When you pray, you're bringing your petitions to a higher authority, to a higher being, to the one who is all-knowing. And because, especially for me, I like being in control, and I like knowing what will happen. And so being human, I'm limited in such a way that I may not be able to be in control all the time. So just knowing that I can pray to God, and He is able to, take this weight off of me, take my burdens, and it's a way that really helps calm my nerves down, especially when I get very anxious, and sometimes it gets very overwhelming. So yeah, so this one helps as well. The other way that I cope is by binge watching my favorite shows. It's a welcome distraction for sure. So I watch reality TV. I'm obsessed with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Potomac. I watch, what else do I watch? Young, Famous and African. I have watched season 2. Amazing, yeah. It really helps, just to take away the focus from my problems and my stressing situations, and just to get lost in that world for some time. Yeah, so these are the ways that I try and cope. And I feel like if you have tried to do stuff and you still feel like you need extra help, it would be helpful to see a professional, because I'm not an expert in these things, and I cannot say for sure what can work for everyone else out there, because I feel like in such things it's really case-to-case basis. It depends on the person. It depends on how much someone can take. And yeah, so if you feel overwhelmed, I'm not an expert in these things, so it would be helpful to speak to a professional who can really help you walk through the things that you need to walk through. Being Kenyan and an African, mental health is not something that is easily talked about. It's really not an easy conversation to have, but over the years I feel like we are really trying to address this, and it's helpful for us to really be open and vulnerable and really talk about the issues that we are facing in regards to mental health. And I believe conversations like these are a good starting point, which really help to also counter the stigma that is associated with mental health. And so I would encourage us to continue having these conversations with our friends, with our loved ones, at our workplaces. Sometimes it helps even in your place of work just to be observant and see someone could be going through something. There are individuals who self-harm. They actually physically harm themselves just because it really gets overwhelming, and being keen to be able to identify such would really help, and it would go a long way to prevent something really dangerous from happening to someone. And so I really believe we really need to take care of our mental health in as much as we take care of our physical health. So in as much as you want to lose weight, you want to have a certain type of look, you want to have a healthy heart, mental health is super, super important as well. And so I just felt that it would be important for me to share my experience and to further this conversation. So I came across this song called People by Libyanka, and I feel like it addresses some of the things that we have talked about today. I will put the link of the song in my description box below, but I just wanted to share a few lines with you. So let's see. Okay, so here goes. I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? Yeah, so listen to it and tell me what you think about it. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, so thank you for listening till the end. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'd also like to interact with you, so please write in my comment section below. And until next time, it's your girl, Angela.